Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ Podcast. Charles here.
Charlie Neff here.
Lauren here.
And Babcock here.
Everybody all right? Sounds like
I
everyone's
know, I
voices
don't
are a
know
little...
what happened to my
Week
voice
after
right
the
now.
weekend?
I'm good to go.
What's that?
I did
It was that
nothing.
Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley fight.
Well, I worked yesterday, so
Oh,
I'm
wow.
coming in,
Well, it was
shell
Sunday
of a
fun day
human
yesterday.
today.
Okay, let's get started with Future. Future woke up and decided that he was the biggest thing ever, bigger than Jay-Z, and says he's going to be a billionaire before Jay-Z, faster than Jay-Z became a billionaire.
What a hot take.
So he tweeted this thing that just started a whole, people are still commenting on this and debating this. His point was that he's bigger than Jay-Z is right now, at least on the streets.
So this is the tweet. He said, "In the streets, I'm bigger than Jigga. I'm gonna run up a beat easy." And then after that, he
Run up a
continued
B, meaning a billion.
Billion,
yeah,
right?
but sorry,
$1 billion.
yeah,
okay,
run
I
up a
was
B,
like,
meaning
who's
a billion.
easy?
Yeah.
and then he tweeted 100 M's is not the goal anymore. What's on your Xmas list? Getting everything they want. Basically, just kind of poking his chest a little bit, feeling himself.
I know you guys, it sounds like you think this is crazy, and I've heard you talk about this morning. I don't think this is that insane right
Is
now.
that
Jay-Z's
true,
50-something
He's
years old, and
half of it.
Charles is
I
old
think he's
school
accurate.
Bronx. He's always gonna go Jay-Z.
No. I'm gonna stand with Future on the fact that he is bigger on the streets than Jay-Z at today.
Age
Yes.
range. It depends on who you're talking to too, because there are people. I think you can't live in this world today and not know Jay-Z, not know what he's
Right.
accomplishing, not you know what I mean. I think it's a
Right.
thing to put him on a pedestal because he deserves that. But I think that there are a lot more kids and just younger people who would turn on Future before they would turn on.
I thought of this
444.
analogy. There's a
Absolutely.
sports
Absolutely.
analogy. There's a sports analogy. It's like young kids they know who Michael Jordan is, but he's not the guy for them.
It's
It's LeBron
LeBron.
James,
Yeah.
and LeBron here is Future.
Okay.
That's
Oh, interesting.
the analogy.
Okay.
But also too,
but
though.
You have to realize though that by the very nature of what Future is saying, he's acknowledging that Jay-Z is bigger than him. He's saying, I'm going to be what Jay-Z is.
He didn't say going. He said he is. He said I'm bigger.
Well, he
Right.
said he will make a billion.
Right, he's
faster
bigger,
than
but he
Jay-Z.
will.
He knows
make
he
the
don't
money
have the
faster.
billion, but he feels like
Right.
he's bigger in music. Now, granted, he's charting. Future charts very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Jay-Z
does
And
he
at 38,
have-
Jay-Z wasn't a billionaire.
I mean,
But
but
Jay-Z has so many other companies. Does Future have
Exactly.
other
And that's what
companies?
Future
No.
isn't realizing here is that most of what made Jay-Z a billion is not music.
No, you're not making that through music. You're not making
Future,
it
if you
through
think you're
music.
going to make a billion just off your music, I don't know anybody who has yet.
No, look at Bruce Springsteen. He's been for decades making music, and his whole catalog sold for $500 million, half of $1 billion.
Right.
You know
so
what I
now
think
You
this
can't
is-
get there
might
with
get
just
y'all
music.
remember in 2019, Jay-Z had that line where he it was something playing football with your kids in the future, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he came for Future," and Future was like, "Well, I called Jay-Z," and he said, "No, I didn't mean it that way," and he was like, "You're supposed to be on my team. We're rap, we're hip hop." I think that this is just he's going to always. You go big in hip hop, it's a thing. You're always the best rapper alive, but I think that this is kind of they have this silent thing because of that line.
Is Future going to be a billionaire?
I could see it if he handles the business right. I just don't know business wise. He's not as out there. I think that he has things going on. I don't think that he's a person that wouldn't, but we don't know. Jay-Z, we know the moves he's making, selling Tidal, Ace of Spades, NFL. He's a lot bigger of a celebrity and a figure, so we know more. I don't know. But people
By the way,
love
he's
Future.
also, by the way, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, over
Yeah.
20 Grammys.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so
Do you
Future's
think
got a
he's-
way to go. Do I think that
ways.
Future? So the part that I think Future is correct about, he's bigger on the streets now.
Yes.
As far as his music and his relevance, right, and
Yeah.
charting music, so he's bigger that way.
Absolutely.
But as
Speaking-
far as being just a big figure, you're not there yet, bro.
Do you think it has to do with him maybe feeling himself? Because he went totally viral over the pandemic because a lot of people realized there's this rapper named Future that came out with a song called Mask Off.
Girl, he was
that
viral. Charlie, he was
predicted
viral before
no.
that.
Charlie-
He was
Charlie.
way viral before that.
I think Charlie's on. I
But
think
you guys,
Charlie's onto
listen,
something here.
When he came out with Mask Off,
I think
everyone was
Charlie
like,
is
"Oh,
on
it's a cool
something.
song." But now Mask Off, really.
I'm
means
going to
and his name
comb
is
through all of
Future.
Future's music for the next hint at what's going to happen.
He's predicting
Interesting.
everything,
Charlie.
you guys.
Look, so look, kudos to Future. You're huge now. but you're still trying to get to Jay-Z's level, and it's going to be a while before you get
March-
there.
And good thing he believes in it.
Charles.
You know
He
what?
should believe in himself. Good.
That's good. I believe in
but
himself.
we got to give it to him. Like Future is really like he's been relevant forever. He really doesn't miss. I don't think Future gets enough credit, and I think he does things like this too, just to like remind you.
Okay.
I've been here. I'm not going anywhere. March Madness is still to this day. You can play that all the way through. There's not
I
many
do.
rappers.
I do.
That right. There's not many rappers like Mask Off is not new. Like
Right.
you know what I mean. It just.
Okay.
No, but it's not new, but now it has more relevance than ever.
That's my point, though. A good artist, and because people say that about Jay-Z, his music is timeless. But there are a lot of people who argue that Jay-Z doesn't, and this is not my take, so don't come get me. There are a lot of people that argue that Jay-Z does not rap the same as he did when he was Jigga on the come up, which, of course, his life has
Of course
changed.
he doesn't.
Right.
He's
How
different.
could he?
But you have Future still like gritty.
guess
He's still
what,
in the
Future?
streets and the trenches, so it's
Future,
different.
in about 10, 12 years, you're going to be in the same spot, and there'll be someone else who's saying that I'm going to be as big as Future. So,
Absolutely.
hey, everybody gets old, man.
It sounds like when MGK.
I really felt that when Charles said.
Now I want to go listen to Mask Off. Thanks, Charlie.
I know.
All right, let's move on to the big winner of the weekend, and it is not Tyron Woodley. Wow. Listen, if you watch any of our shows, you know that I've been talking smack about Jake Paul for a long time. I don't give him a lot of credit. I think it's kind of a big show, but that was a legit knockout punch with his second fight with Tyron Woodley.
That was one of the best knockout punches I've ever
That
seen.
was scary. His
It was
legs
scary.
totally gave out, and he just fell straight on his face.
Charlie, he was literally unconscious before he hit the canvas. As he's falling, he
Oh,
was
it was
completely out. It was a
I
perfect
feel
shot.
like that could really injure you, just that fall. I mean, not even the punch.
When-
Just falling dead like that.
When you hear the referee immediately yell, "I need a doctor! I need a doctor!"
Did not even
Yeah.
count. Didn't even count.
Scary.
Yeah, there was no count. He just said, "Get me the doctor."
And I thought there was like no way on earth this was like planned or anything.
Yeah.
But I heard some of you guys in the office today saying that like there's some theories that
Before we get to that, I gotta. We got Tyron after the fight.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Look,
He
this
was
is the most
talking
shocking
after
thing.
that?
He was actually,
we talked to him
Not immediately after.
but maybe 45 minutes after he got knocked out.
Oh,
we were
wow.
there in Tampa and we shot him. And look, he's 39 years old. He's going on 40 years old. He's lost a bunch of fights lately. So a lot of people are calling on Tyron to retire.
This was really shocking to me.
Are you gonna fight again?
Some people need to talk about retirement for themselves. You know, I didn't look like a fighter that was slow. I didn't look like a fighter that didn't have fight in them. I got to make that choice.
Right.
I had already planned to stay super busy in 2022 anyway, and then that doesn't change.
Just you're not considering retirement
Because I dropped my hand one time.
Right. Okay. I mean, I like to hear that.
If you think about it,
You
like
look
I
at
dropped my hand one time, and I paid a consequence for it.
Right.
I should retire because of that.
No. So do you want a boxing fight? You want
Sure.
to get back in UFC boxing or?
I just want to just do 4 different forms of combat sports next year.
It's the opposite of retirement. 4 different fights next
He's
year.
talking about fighting even more. And
it sounds like he's upset about even like anyone asking that question.
I think he is.
But
he
why?
looked good. Tyron, that's the crazy
up
part
to that
about it.
moment,
Tyron
he actually did look good.
He
and
did.
I thought,
Much better
oh
than
man,
first.
he's going to win. He's going to win.
Me
I
too,
thought he was
Charles.
gonna win this.
I was like, it's going to be very interesting to see how Jake handles the adversity. He's getting beat up. Tyron looks sharp, better than he's looked in years. I watched every time that guy has fought. I've watched it. He looked better than I've seen him in a long time.
But
and
didn't he only have a few weeks to train?
he did, but he was training already for some other fights.
Like
so,
you said, he
yeah.
did drop his hand one time during the fight, and kudos to Jake Paul. He took full advantage of it. So now, Charlie, to what you were saying,
Yeah,
there is a theory floating around out there that there was a fix.
But
This
what
happens-
would Tyron get out of letting himself drop to the ground like that?
Money, right?
Money.
Don't you get money
No.
either way? Though,
Yes,
like even if he
yes,
would have lost
yeah.
but not got knocked out, he would have gotten
And
paid.
by the way, Lauren, if it would have been the opposite way, if Tyron knocked out Jake Paul, there was a clause in the contract that Tyron got $500,000 extra. So, look, and again,
TMZ
I know
Sports, stepping up.
Tyron Woodley used to work here for us, right? He had
Yeah.
a show with
Yeah.
TMZ Sports. So I know Tyron well. He's very prideful. There's no way he would let himself get knocked unconscious
Right.
by Jake Paul.
But
That's the
doesn't
most
everybody
embarrassing
everybody
thing.
has a price though, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, but I think, and I
no,
agree
you
with
would get
you,
knocked
Mike.
out like that for a price.
no,
Charles? What is your price?
No, I'm not getting in the ring with anybody.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a
Me
price to
neither.
get in the
Charles
ring.
versus
Every time I watch a UFC fight or a boxing match, I go, "There's got to be a better way to make a living."
Yeah.
Oh
Because
my gosh, I
Right.
know.
even when you're really good, you get beat up, man.
Yeah.
Your head is just ringing.
Right. I
swollen
mean, if you saw
and-
Jake, he was streaming blood throughout the
Oh
fight.
my
He got
God.
he got
And he
elbowed.
had also said too, he's had some like kind of like trauma where he's like having
did.
slurred
Yeah.
speech
He
and
did.
already seeing some kind of side effects
did.
from boxing.
Though we asked Tyron about that, and Tyron thought that was him playing games and trying to get in
Yes.
Tyron's head.
Yeah, that's what I.
It's
thought
all
also.
mind games in
So
boxing.
Oh my
yes, I think
gosh.
people always think in combat sports, they always think there's a fix. They
Yep.
always think something like that. I don't think Tyron would do that, and I think this is just people, honestly, and I put myself in this camp, or at least I have been, is that people don't want to give Jake Paul credit.
Right. Well,
for
they
being a
can't
boxer.
believe he won, Charles, and they're trying to look for a reason
Right,
why
and they're
Jake
looking for
won.
But-
Listen, I watched it and I was like, Jake Paul, I'm gonna give him everything he needs
Yeah.
to get, because at this point, it's like he's really putting people down. I
He
just
is.
don't know why.
but
Like,
he's got to fight a real boxer. That's what everyone's saying, right?
but don't you warm up before you
but
get to
here's
the
the
real
thing.
You
boxers?
do.
Interesting. After the fight, now there's a bunch of people who aren't real boxers who all want to fight him because they all know there's some money in
Right.
it.
Of
Right.
course,
And they all
it's
think
a circus.
They know this talk it up, and then Jake will talk
Right.
some smack, they'll talk some smack, and then they end up getting a fight. Who was Le'Veon Bell?
Right. Le'Veon.
Oh my
Le'Veon
God.
Bell.
I don't
Listen,
wanna
if you're
see
not a
that fight.
boxer, don't do it. Look,
Does
they
it-
talk to Nate Robinson. Don't do it.
Does this help Jake? Because I know a lot of real boxers, right, don't really
Yeah.
want to touch him,
Yeah.
because they feel like it's a gimmick. Does this
Yeah.
help him get to that, or is this like
I
another?
think it gets him more respect.
But also,
yeah.
if Jake Paul actually knocks out a real boxer, that boxer's career is like over.
It's
A
yes.
YouTuber
But
knocks
at a
you
certain
out.
point, Jake's going to keep winning, and it's not going to be embarrassing to
Right.
lose to
And at
Jake
some-
anymore. You
and
know,
At some point, you have to stop calling him just a YouTuber. a
Right.
YouTuber and
I
say
know.
he's
The
a
guy's
Sorry,
got
I'm not-
talent.
you
Look,
gotta say he
cool.
got them hands.
he's not Canelo Alvarez, but he has talent. I think that's clear at this point.
Well, wow, there's a gap there.
There's
He's
a
got
gap,
talent
but-
and Canelo Alvarez. Come on. All right, Mike. I know you got.
Okay, yeah.
You
Thank
gotta
you,
run.
guys.
We are. We
I'm
got a
gonna
lot
slide
of
out.
stuff going on.
Wow, really, Babcock?
Sorry,
huh?
guys.
You know,
I
Better
have
things to do than
somewhere
us?
else to be.
It
He's a
is
celebrity.
Wow, anywhere but here for Babcock.
But look, I will. I want to talk about this because I think that everybody's going through this where they work. It's a holiday week. There are a lot of people who are out, and so we're all juggling here, doing lots of different things. And Mike's got to go do a live shot with one of our affiliates, so we carry on. All right. But I wanted to get his take on the fight, obviously. Okay, so what are we going to go to next? How about Pete Davidson had
Ooh,
Pete
fun
Davidson's day
one.
off. It's kind of like Ferris Bueller's day off, except Ferris Bueller wasn't dating Kim Kardashian. So Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian were hanging out again. We can just say they're boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
Totally. I mean, they're like, a lot of people thought this was not going to work out. They're like both on different coasts, but Kim flew out to New York. A lot of people thought that maybe they were hanging out right before he was going to do SNL because this was on a Saturday.
Yep.
But he took the day off.
Yeah, he did
and
not go to SNL.
I
Instead, he
wouldn't
went
have either.
to the movies.
he went to see a movie with Kim Kardashian, and there was a third wheel here, which I don't
Very
really understand.
strange third wheel. I'm
Scott
still trying to
Disick.
put it together.
What was Scott Disick doing hanging out?
The only
mean,
thing I could assume is that maybe Scott and Pete are like low key friends and have been friends.
It seems like they would be, like they would have the same circles, because you know Scott hangs out with like a lot of like the rappers and
Uh-huh.
parties, and Pete's kind of like outside too, like he's
Yeah.
kind of in that. So I don't know, but that's odd.
But they went to a movie in Staten Island.
Yeah, they went to the theater in Staten Island.
Pete's hometown.
Now, see, here's what's interesting about this. So Pete had the day off because SNL, they did the show Saturday night, but there were like 5 people there.
It's like no audience.
Paul Rudd was there and he hosted, sort of. But it was poor Paul Rudd. It was his 5th time hosting. So that's a big deal in SNL. You get a robe that says 5-timer.
But his 5th time is like COVID.
Yeah, there was
like,
no one there.
No one's there.
Kenan Thompson was there. Michael Che was there. And I think that was about it. And then they had a bunch of like some things that were pre-recorded that they ran. And Pete was in one of those. But Pete was not at the studio that night. They basically said they cleared out the studio. They didn't, just to be safe with COVID and Omicron is spreading. So especially in New York, they didn't want to have the whole crew there. So Pete doesn't go to work, but then goes to a movie theater, which to me seems a little odd. No, like
He doesn't. He doesn't have to be there.
I don't know, but if you're not going to work because there's a spread of coronavirus,
Oh,
right? then you're going to go to a movie theater?
You're not gonna take the risk for Kim Kardashian? I would take the risk, and I don't
Well,
even.
maybe that's
You're
it.
going to. I mean, and I think too. Maybe he thought like because it's hitting so hard in New York, stuff is really closing down over there. It wouldn't be as many people there, but there were people there. There
it was
were
crowded in the
tons
theater.
of people. Well, that
At least in
Spider-Man
the lobby.
movie
They still
came
separate
out.
you guys in the theater. Like I went to a theater recently and they have you sit like a couple seats apart from like other
Right.
groups. So, kind of makes it a little bit more safe. But yeah, obviously when they came out of the theater, and we don't know if they rented out that specific theater just to themselves and maybe
I don't think so because we saw there were other people in the lobby at least.
Yeah.
Oh, but I know you're saying like each
that
cinema,
one,
right?
Yeah.
Apparently they saw House of Gucci, by the way. That's what everyone's saying online.
Oh, there probably weren't
Which
that
was
many people
terrible.
in there.
Why didn't I see the
So they were
Spider-Man
probably
movie?
very
Yeah,
safe.
by
Probably very
themselves.
safe. They didn't
Wasn't
go see
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I'm so
Right.
surprised they didn't go see Spider-Man.
Yeah, everyone's saying House of Gucci.
Well-
But yeah, I mean, just the fact that they're like still doing little dates together. Not like when she dated Kanye, everything was over the top. Every date was like, we're going to Paris just to have this baguette. And like
Right.
they would do like
Now
these
she's
most
in Staten
lavish
Island going to
at
like
the
an Italian, like
movies.
But she
the
said
movies and going to an Italian restaurant and not like a big classy one.
she said though that was kind of the problem with Kanye. It was like
Right.
everything was larger than life, and that was cool. I guess at first it's like, oh my god, but then you get to a point where you just want to do fun date nights and like
She said she
hug
wanted
and
the little
be admired,
things.
and it seems like Pete naturally, because he's a guy that kind of
Yeah.
like he's super chill. The little things are
He's a more down to earth guy, so you're gonna have a more down to earth date.
exactly
Yeah.
from
And
the
she
rooftop
looks-
dinner to the movies.
She looks happier than she's ever been. Like you can just see the like joyfulness on her face.
So there were reports that Pete introduced her to his mom and his sister
right.
on this trip.
Oh wow,
That's a
big
big
deal.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause
big deal.
he's super close with them too, so it's a really big deal.
In Staten Island, that's a big deal.
Mhm. Wow.
I mean, it's a
In
big deal
Staten Island,
anywhere. It's
anything
a big
is a
deal
big
anywhere, but yes, it's big for them. So, yeah, this is real. Before we got into the holidays, I was thinking, all right, they'll stay together through Christmas, probably through New Year's.
Oh, you're saying because
gotta have
cuffing
somebody-
season?
Right, and that sometime in mid-January, they're just gonna stop.
Go their own
You
ways.
won't see them anymore.
Gosh, what do you get
I'm not
Kim K
buying
for
that now.
Christmas?
I'm not buying that now.
Me either. I think they'll
they
be
stick
together. I
at
think New
least
Year's
through
Eve is
Valentine's.
Oh, I think she's like
Beyond that.
fully into
Me
this.
too.
I don't think there's like any turning back for her anytime soon.
I give them Valentine's, but I don't think they make it to.
Summertime.
No, definitely not. Definitely not summer. I was gonna say like Easter, but we'll see.
I don't
Alright.
know. And if they make it past, you have Christmas, New Year's Eve, Easter, like all of those are like family
and Valentine's.
Valentine's, like, you know what I mean? Those are times where like she would have normally been with Kanye. If they make it through all that, Pete is the one.
The one.
The one, not like her love
I don't
forever.
know if it's
I
the
mean, like
one.
he's the man. Like he did it.
Oh no, he's definitely the man. Definitely the man. All right. Let's move on now to Chrissy Teigen and something that I think a lot of people are thinking about this week for a couple of reasons. One, the holidays are upon us.
Yep.
Two, unfortunately, there's this surge in coronavirus and the Omicron variant. Delta's still out there. So we got Chrissy Teigen out in LA, and she was finishing up some shopping, and we asked her about her plans for the holidays and what are you going to do when you have family and maybe friends over for Christmas dinner. How
All
do you
under
deal?
one roof, probably not outside.
Right. How do you handle this? So here's our conversation with Chrissy.
I mean, everyone needs to be safe. Obviously, this variant is going crazy, but vaccinated is the way to go, honestly. I'm going to head to the ATM, actually. Do you know what ATM is?
Will you still
do,
be
yeah.
having a big Christmas celebration in your household?
Oh, no, we keep Christmas as family.
Yeah, but even
I don't
that.
have a big family, honestly.
So what are you talking about? Like less than 10 people or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's only like 8 people in my whole family.
Really?
yeah.
Like-
Yeah, my dad is, 83 now?
Yeah.
So, no, he'll be there for Christmas, though. We're all vaccinated. We feel safe together.
Are you gonna take any extra precautions, like sit
Oh,
out?
I got the kids some N95s. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, of course. And we have to protect our the only one that's not vaccinated is Miles, so we have to make sure to protect little Miles.
Protect Miles at all costs. Definitely. So because her kids are so adorable. Anyway, this isn't an issue because, Chrissy, after our photog saw Chrissy and had that interaction with her, she tweeted something which I thought was interesting. She said, I feel like TMZ just tricked me. They asked me a question about wearing masks at Christmas. wasn't a trick, Chrissy. It was just
like
it was a
listening
legit
to the
question
interview, it's totally
it was
It's
just a
the
legit
question that
warranted.
people have right now. Everybody's trying to figure it out.
Right, because and look, Chrissy is having dinner with just her family, but Chrissy and John have a lot of friends, and so the question was, if you have friends over, is what we were thinking. If it's just your immediate family, I get totally what Chrissy's saying. Like, everybody's vaccinated, they're all there. Obviously, they want to be safe ahead of the dinner because of Miles not being vaccinated. But this is something every family is going through. In fact, I heard someone in our office saying that their family, their aunt was going to have dinner, but said everybody has to not only be vaccinated, but you got to get tested in the driveway, and you have to wait in the driveway until your test result comes in.
I'm here for that, though. I'm here for
Honestly,
that.
I think everyone's family kind of like has a different situation going on. Like part of my family is not vaccinated, and the other half, which includes myself, is. So, and of course, my grandparents are the ones that are vaccinated, along with my mom and my stepdad. And my grandparents are like, we don't want to be around the non-vaccinated people, which are actually their other children. So it's like just a really weird dynamic. And I think everyone's got to kind of figure out what's the safest for them. But also, in our family, we also kind of don't want to discriminate against the non-vaccinated people. But at the same time, like my grandparents
Everyone's
can't
gotta
like
be
risk their
safe.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really interesting about this is the fact that even if you are vaccinated, and look, we've seen a bunch of celebrities and politicians, Senator Warren came out and said that she's tested positive. People who are vaccinated are getting this new variant.
Right.
So you're testing positive. People who've been vaccinated, who've been boosted, who've had COVID. I'm in that category of having all three of those. But those people are testing positive now for this, and it's because of this new variant. Now, from what I've heard, I don't hear a lot of people are getting really sick, but they're having symptoms. So
I think it's just scary too, because the last time that this happened with us, where we had to things are pulling back a little bit, even though we didn't know what was happening, we were people were a lot more, in my opinion, scared. People were a lot more precautious. I think now, this has come up. Now you feel okay, we have to be safe this weekend for Christmas. But last week, it was oh, who's pulling up? You know what I mean? Things change so fast, and we're kind of not as scared, although we should be, because we've been dealing with this for so long. So I kind of think that we think we have all the answers. So I think it's, listening to her say I'm going to be around my immediate family. I didn't take it as oh my God. I figured everybody's trying to figure this out right now.
And my favorite meme that I've seen over the last 2-3 weeks, trying to avoid getting COVID before Christmas is like the new Squid Game.
Yeah, I saw that.
So true.
Because it is. Because I'm not talking about the risk of people getting sick and dying. Obviously, that is a concern, especially if you're not vaccinated. But even if you test positive, do you want to, and you have to isolate, do you want to spend Christmas Day sitting at home by yourself? No. And that's why it's this week before Christmas, everyone is really, really desperately trying to not test positive.
And I think too, there's also the travel factor.
I was just
I'm from
about to
here,
say
but
that.
a lot of
And if you
people
wanna
travel, take planes, and they're around a lot more people. And some people will just fly even if they've got a sneeze or whatever, So
Yeah.
you're
Don't do
really
that.
at risk.
I'm
Don't
flying
do
back to the East Coast, and I literally because we're done the 23rd, and then Christmas Eve, of course, the 24th.
Right.
So I've been trying to figure out a plan of all right, I'm gonna land. I'll do 5 rapid tests. What can I do to make sure that before I go around my older family,
Yep.
you know what I mean? I'm okay. And it's hard to figure it out because last week this time it was a little bit different, where I felt because I was vaccinated, I'm good. Now I don't know. Things are just different.
The best, look, what Chrissy Teigen said is probably the best plan is be with your family, but try to keep it as small as you can. And in
Definitely.
the days leading up to it, stay away from everybody. Stay
Yep.
away from everybody.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Lay low.
All right. One last thing before we get out of here. We know what Britney Spears is going to be doing for the holidays because her fiance, Sam Ashgari, well, he told us, and it was pretty blunt. This is what's going to be going on in their house for the holidays.
Hey, Sam, good morning, man. How was your workout today?
Amazing.
Hey, what are you and Britney's plans for Christmas?
Baby making.
Anything special?
Baby making, a lot of baby making.
A lot of baby making. Hey, I saw a post about Magic Mike, man. Congratulations. So is it really happening?
I got an audition, man. If you see Channing, put in the good work for me, yeah? Wish me luck.
Will do, man. Thank you, Sam. Hey, I saw that you got a parking ticket.
Amazing. Add to the collection. We got a lot of them.
Collection. All right. Take care, Sam.
Okay, first of all, whose reaction to a parking ticket is amazing.
I don't think he heard him. I think he just wanted to say something.
By the way, he is not joking about the baby making. We know she's had baby fever for quite some time. She's like posted videos and photos like holding baby dolls, like saying that she wants a baby girl because, you know, she only has two
boys.
sons.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's coming
She talked
down.
about it in court back in June. She said, I want to get married. I want to have babies. So yeah,
I don't know why, but when I was listening to that clip, all I kept hearing is "body rocking, knocking the boots." I don't know why. I just was like, this is about to be their household all weekend. Like they're about to have the playlist going. It's about to be a little lit over there.
You know, good for her. She wants to expand her family. Like I'm sure, you know, that's a sweet thing.
Hey, there's a reason why there are a lot of September babies.
Christmas
because around the holidays. That's why you have a lot of people. Actually, I don't know if I was about to do a Derek and throw out a stat that I don't know is
please
actually
don't
true.
do that.
But I think a lot of people are born. There's just a lot of Virgos like myself.
Oh God, the Virgos getting down.
You know, it's not a little weird to you to think about your parents at Christmas with the eggnog.
All right,
spikes?
I don't want to think about that anymore. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Listen, when you guys have a very safe holiday week, like we said, don't test positive this week. You don't want to be alone on Christmas. Get us where you get all your podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces.
Well, some of them are beautiful. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. So we'll see you guys soon. All right.
See you guys.